my kindergarten dolphins. It is so good to see you all today. We're going to begin our week with some calendar. Now, we haven't been in school for quite a few days, so we have a few days to put up here on our calendar. So make sure you have your calendar mat ready to add in these numbers. Now, the last time that we had calendar, it was the 5th. What number is 1 more than 5? If we add 1 to 5, what does it become? 5, and then 1 more is 6. So we're going to add 6. What is 1 more than 6? 7. So we're adding 7. And what is 1 more than 7? 8. Very good. And what is 1 more than 8? 9. Very good. And then we have to figure out what today is. That brings us all the way up to yesterday. Yesterday was the 9th. What is today? What number comes after 9? We add 1 more. It's 10. Very good. Now, where is my 10 here? Is it my first, middle, or last number? Well, my first number has a 2 in the front. That means it's in the 20s. So I know it's not my first number. Now, is it my middle number or my last number? It was my middle number. A 1 in the front and a 0 makes 10. 1 and 0, that is how we write the number 10. This number is 11. That's actually going to be tomorrow's date. So today is the 10th. Now we need to talk about what month we're in. So let's begin with our months of the year song. Let's sing together. January, February, March, and April, May, June, July, and August, September, October, November, December. These are the months of the year. Awesome. Now what month are we in? What month are we in? I'll give you a hint. It starts with a letter N. That's right. It is November. Very good. November. And what year are we still in? What year are we still in? It is still 2020. We still have November and then December. Then we'll get to start all the way back at January for a new year. So we still have 2 months left in 2020. I think we're ready to write our date. So to review, we filled in 6, 7, 8, 9, and for today, 10 on our calendar mat. And now I'm going to fill in the date on my date sheet. So today is the 10th. So I wrote a 10 on my calendar mat, and so I wrote 10 on my numbers side and on my written side. So there's my date for today. Okay, I think we're ready to talk about our days of the week. Let's begin with our days of the week song. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the days of the week. Now, usually the first day of our week when we're having school would be Monday, but we didn't have school yesterday. So that means that yesterday was Monday. So if yesterday was Monday, what is today? Tuesday. Very good. Today is Tuesday. Now, if today is Tuesday, what will tomorrow be? Wednesday. Very good. Tomorrow will be Wednesday. Awesome work. I think we're ready to talk about our weather. So let's sing our weather song together. What's the weather? What's the weather? What's the weather like today? Tell me, kinder, what's the weather? What's the weather like today? Okay, I'm going to begin with how it feels outside. This morning, it felt pretty cold outside. I had to wear my jacket. So I'm going to say that on my weather chart, I'm going to say that outside it feels cold. Now, even though it feels cold, it looks pretty sunny. So I'm going to say it feels cold, but the weather is sunny. So that's my weather report for today. Now, for today's journal and our story, we're going to hear a story about somebody who likes to build. Because today, we're going to meet a new super kid, because today's going to be our last day talking about our friend Doc. Now, our friend Doc is a super kid who loves to build. We're going to hear about another girl who loves to build things, and then we're going to do some writing about our reading. So I'll see you over in the library. Okay, kindergarten, so today's story is called Rosie Revere Engineer, and the author is Andrea Beatty, and it is illustrated, the pictures are drawn by David Roberts. This is the story of Rosie Revere, who dreamed of becoming a great engineer. In Lila Greer's classroom at Blue River Creek, young Rosie sat shyly, not daring to speak. So all of her classmates are speaking, but she is too shy. But when no one saw her, she peeked in the trash for treasures to add to her engineering stash. And late at night, Rosie rolled up her sleeves and built in her hideaway under the eaves. Oh, so she's taking things that other people would have thrown away, and she wants to use them to engineer things, to create things. Alone in her attic, the moon high above, dear Rosie made gadgets and gizmos she loved. And when she grew sleepy, she hid her machines far under the bed where they'd never be seen. So she was creating lots of different types of machines. Who else do we know who likes to invent different things? Remember our friend Doc? When Rosie was young, she had not been so shy. She worked with her hair swooping over one eye. She made fine inventions for uncles and aunts, a hot dog dispenser and helium pants. Oh my goodness, helium pants like balloons that would make you fly in the sky, and a hot dog dispenser. Those are some interesting machines that she created. The uncle she loved most was zookeeper Fred. She made him a hat to keep snakes off his head, from parts of a fan and some cheddar cheese spray, which everyone knows will keep pythons away. Ooh, so that was one of her creations. And when it was finished, young Rosie was proud, but Fred slapped his knee and chuckled out loud. Ha ha ha! He laughed till he wheezed and his eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere. She looked at her cheese hat, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who stood there embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. She looked at the cheese hat and then looked away. I love it, Fred hooted. Oh, I truly do. But Rosie knew that that could not be true. She stuck the cheese hat on the back of her shelf, and after that day, she kept her dreams to herself. Oh, so she used to not feel so shy, but then one day she engineered a hat for her uncle, and he laughed at her. And that made her really sad because she had just spent so much time creating it. And that's how it went until one autumn day, her oldest relation showed up for a stay. Her great-great-aunt Rose was a true dynamo who'd worked building airplanes a long time ago. She told Rosie tales of the things she had done and goals she had checked off her list one by one. She gave a sad smile as she looked to the sky. The only thrill left on my list is to fly. But time never lingers as long as it seems. I'll chalk that one up to an old lady's dreams. So Rosie's great Aunt Rose used to be an engineer too, and she used to build airplanes. How cool. And she's saying that her one wish is that she wants to be able to fly in one. She never got a chance to fly in any of the airplanes that she built. That night, as Rosie lay wide-eyed in bed, a daring idea crept into her head. Could she build a gizmo to help her aunt fly? She looked at the cheese hat and said, "No, not I." But questions are tricky, and some hold on tight. This one kept Rosie awake through the night. So when dawn approached and red streaks lit the sky, young Rosie knew just how to make her aunt fly. Oh, so she wants to invent something to help her aunt to fly. She worked and she worked till the day was half gone, then hauled her cheese copter out into the lawn to give her invention a test just to see the ridiculous flop it might turn out to be. Oh, there's that word invention, just like we heard with Doc, who liked to create inventions and build different things. Strapped into the cockpit, she flipped on the switch. The Helio cheese copter sputtered and twitched. It floated a moment and whirled round and round, then froze for a heartbeat and crashed to the ground. Oh no. Then Rosie heard laughter and turned round to see the old woman laughing and slapping her knee. She laughed till she wheezed and her eyes filled with tears, to the horror of Rosie Revere, who thought, "Oh no, never, not again will I ever try to build something to sputter or spin, or build with a lever or switch or gear, and never will I ever be a great engineer." Oh no, so her aunt is laughing that her Helio cheese copter fell out of the sky, and she's saying, "That's it, I'm never gonna try ever again." Do you think she should give up just like that? I wonder if maybe there's something else she can try. She turned round to leave, but then great Aunt Rose grabbed one of young Rosie. She turned round to leave, but then great Aunt Rose grabbed hold of young Rosie and pulled her in close, and hugged her and kissed her and started to cry. "You did it! Hooray! It's the perfect first try. The great flop is over. It's time for the next." Young Rosie was baffled, embarrassed, perplexed. "I failed," said dear Rosie. "It's just made of trash." "Didn't you see? The cheese copter crashed." "Yes," said her great aunt, "it crashed. That is true. But first, it did just what you needed it to do. Before it crashed, Rosie, before that, it flew." Oh, remember? Before it crashed, she was flying. So she's saying even though on your first try it didn't work perfectly, it still worked. "Your brilliant first flop was a raging success. Come on, let's get busy. On to the next." She handed a notebook to Rosie Revere, who smiled at her aunt as it all became clear. Life might have its failures, but this was not it. The only true failure will come if you quit. So they're thinking that even though the first time it didn't work, we don't give up. We just try again. We learn from it. They worked till the sun sneaked away to its bed. Aunt Rose tied her headscarf around Rosie's head and sent her to sleep with a smile ear to ear, to dream of bold dreams of a great engineer. At Blue River Creek, all the kids in grade 2 built gizmos and gadgets and doohickeys too. With each perfect failure, they all stand and cheer, but none quite as proudly as Rosie Revere. So she finally was brave enough to show her engineering skills to her classmates. And look, her Aunt Rose was able to finally fly. Rosie Revere was brave enough to help her create her copter. Wow, that was such a cool story about not giving up. If Rosie had given up the first time she tried to create her copter, she would have never gotten to help her great aunt fly. And her great aunt told her the only true failure, the only time that we really fail is when we don't try again. So Rosie learned to never give up. That is so cool. We're going to think about if we were inventors, what we might want to create now. So let's head over to the board to do some writing. All right, so like we talked about in our story, we're going to be thinking about if we were engineers, if we like to build things and fix things like Doc and like Rosie in our story, what would we invent? What would we create? Now I have some sentences that you can start off with. Over here, if you want to write a whole sentence about what you might invent, you could write, I would invent, and then think to yourself, what would I like to invent? It can be something real, like a type of machine, or it could be something completely from your imagination, like maybe a new type of vehicle that could help you go underwater to get to school, or things like that. There are so many things. This is where you can really use your imagination and imagine, what would I like to create all by myself? And that's what you're gonna write and draw a picture of. Over here, if you just want to draw me your invention, then you can just use this quick label, my invention. I know this is a big long word, but you can pause the video here and just copy it down, and then go ahead and give me a picture and use some letter sounds, some beginning sounds to tell me kind of a little bit more about your picture. Okay, I can't wait to see what you engineers come up with. I'll check in with you later. Bye! Hello again, my kindergarten dolphins. I'm over here at our WOW work board with all of your beautiful work and your fall leaves, since it is the season of fall, because I want to tell you about 2 ways that I'm going to be shouting out some students for some WOW work, and that is with our new awards, our Smarty Ant Award and our Redbird Award. So I'm going to be giving these awards to my friends who have been going on Smarty Ants and Redbird and doing some awesome work on there to practice their math and their phonics skills. So I have 2 friends to give a shout out to today. Now my first kindergarten dolphin that I want to give a shout out to is Miss Evelyn Rose. Evelyn Rose, you are getting the Smarty Ant Award today because you have been doing such awesome work on Smarty Ants. Miss Evelyn Rose has been reading some great words and she's been practicing her letter sounds. So I want to give you a big Smarty Ant Award. Miss Evelyn Rose, this is for you. Woohoo! My next award, our Redbird Award, is going to my friend Carly. Carly has been going on Redbird and doing such awesome math work. She has done the most work on Redbird in the whole class. That is so awesome. So Miss Carly, the Redbird Award goes to you today. So I'm so proud of you. Woohoo! So these 2 ladies have done some awesome work. I'm so proud of it. Keep it up, girls. And I hope everyone else can get on their Smarty Ants and on their Redbird, and they can earn the Smarty Ant and the Redbird Award too.